So the obvious placement right now in this chapter is the fact that Yuta's back. Everybody's obviously I can guess that's the big thing that anybody who's been reading the series is going to be excited about is seeing Yuta back in the story. He was in Volume 0, and with only being 4 chapters in the actual plot, like where it's focused on him, he got 7th in the first character poll. So clearly he left no mark on the series. So I was really happy to see him in here. He's one of the only 4 special grade humans. He's obviously a bit of a big deal. And getting him back was always really hype. So I'm really curious after this, because we had this little girl at the start of the chapter that he went to go help. And I really want to know what's up with that little girl, because she didn't really seem bothered by any of these cursed spirits. And there's a part where he's talking to Rika and saying how he's oh, Rika, please, try not to overdo it. And I legitimately, I couldn't fully tell if he's talking to Rika, who's somehow around, or if Rika is somehow this little girl. It's because the little girl, the thing that kind of confused me about that is you see her in this convenience store, and there's a statement there's 10 million curses at least that have gone around and kind of come out since Kamo did his thing. And this little girl doesn't seem bothered at all by in this convenience store. There's a very obvious spooky creature talking to her, and then gets out the store. It's a big monster. It's pretty much like an anglerfish, kind of like Grand Fisher from Bleach, where it's got a fake person that is to lure out its prey. Goes in. Obviously, Yuta shows up to kill it, to take it out, and the little girl just doesn't seem bothered by any of this. You just saw a giant monster. Almost got eaten. This guy shows up, kills it, and then it doesn't seem phased at all. So that one was, to me, either I really got my head a little twisted. When he's talking to Rika, and it's is this little girl somehow Rika, or is he just talking to Rika and we don't see Rika? Or what's the deal with this little kid? Because I think that this kid not having any real reaction to any of this that was going on just seems odd. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm overthinking this, but at the same time, I'm I feel like anybody, even a grown adult, you run into any of these scenarios, and you don't have any powers, you have no way to defend yourself, and this monster, popping up, is gonna freak you out. Even if you're not, scared shitless, you would still be oh, no, I'm in a bad spot. Especially, when the creature first started talking to her when she's in the store, you think they'd be I'm in trouble. I don't know. It could easily be I'm overthinking this, but at the same time, I there's something about it that just makes me think that that Akutami is laying some form of little tidbits and notes in there of importance. Again, who knows? Either way, the big stuff obviously in this chapter, besides Yuta coming back, because it's pretty fast to read once you get past the first couple the first couple pages, because the first page, you have a zoom out of their area in Japan, and then you see this big blacked out area. I'm guessing this whole zone has probably been quarantined off, cut out because of all these curses running around and stuff. They're even saying how they're gonna have to try and evacuate the 5 million people that are in the zone and everything. It's just looking bad. Everything is just looking bad, and from the events that just went down from Kamo and stuff. But after that point, it reads pretty quick, because it's this monster's luring out this little girl. Yuta shows up, and he's just trying to talk to her and be trying to calm her down. And that's the thing. Like I said, I can't tell if he's talking to her, or when he's referring to Rika, or if he's talking to just the curse who couldn't see it. It's really weird to me, just because of the fact that this girl had seemingly no form of reaction that I feel would fit into what just happened. So I don't know. Again, I feel like I'm just tinfoil hatting on this one, but at the same time, I'm am I onto something? Have I noticed something? I haven't looked into what other people have said about the chapter yet, so I don't know if that's something that other people have taken notice of. Maybe there's something that I'm just not seeing. Either way, I figured I would at least mention that, because if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It could easily just be this is a girl that is somehow unfazed. Maybe she's important later, who knows. But I just wanted to put that idea out there. Either way, at the end of the chapter, the things that I think were more interesting to talk about was near the end, like, you see Inumaki, like, lost an arm, and in Volume 0, obviously, Yuta was close to, like, that whole group, like, Inumaki, Panda, Maki, and stuff. So he's not going to be happy about the fact that Inumaki lost an arm. And then, apparently, he's been in charge of killing Yuji. So that's going to be a really interesting interaction when they show up, when they meet up, rather, because there are some interesting parallels between the two of them throughout the series, and it's something that a lot of people have been waiting to see. It's just them meeting in general. And seeing how Yuji's been doing after this is going to be really interesting. Because I don't think there was a statement of time passing, like if it had been a month or a week or what, since everything went down. If anybody sees, like, a unit of time mentioned that I didn't see, I'd really appreciate just dropping the comment in the chat. But the stuff at the end is really what I moreover wanted to talk about. Because there's, like, a couple, like, was it 4 or 5 notes? 5 notes. So the first one that they mention is, number 1, Suguru Geto's survival has been confirmed, and he has been sentenced to death again. And the fact that they noted as Geto's survival shows that they're covering stuff up. There's a lot of stuff in here that shows that the guys that are in charge of writing these reports and getting this all spread out between the Jujutsu Tech people, all the higher-ups, that they are lying in order to get things more towards their liking. And then, like, because we all know it's Kamo. Like, anybody that was there, like, knows it was Kamo Noritoshi. Like, even, like, talks about it. And that's, like, it's very obvious for anybody that was present in the zone. And it means that either somehow word from them never got to, like, the higher-ups, but then how would they know it was Geto? So it just makes sense to me that they would lie, and they would kind of form it out to not have the fact that Kamo exists, like, he's alive. Or maybe he's somehow being the one that to manipulate things, like manipulating them. I don't really know. But then there's also, like, Satoru Gojo has been deemed an accomplice in the Shibuya incident and thus is permanently exiled from the Jutsu world. Furthermore, removing his seal will be considered a criminal act. So that as well. Very obvious to me that they are fabricating a story. This is fake news. Because we know that obviously he wasn't involved in any of this. Like, he had no want for any of these events to happen. And the thing about Satoru that we do know about is he's so powerful that he can just do whatever he wants from the, the higher-ups in the tech. And he's even said before, like, if I want, I can just kill all of you right now. I might even do it. And so they know that they have no control over him. So it makes sense of why they want to keep him out of the way, try and pin a bunch of things on him that he didn't do, and make it so he can't come back. And at the same time, like, I would do it. Like, you put me in that scenario, like, if I knew the truth, because, like, if you don't know, that's different, because they're not, like, if other people, that don't know the actual stuff that happened and don't know anything about Satoru, and they thought, like, oh, he was somehow an accomplice, and, somehow was involved in all this, and he's a bad guy, they're not going to let him out, because, if he's just in your head, like, you believe him to be a bad guy, then why would you willingly let him out? But, if you're one of the guys that know that's bullshit, you're just going to let him out, because it's like, oh, it's going to be a criminal act if you do it. It's like, okay, come after us. Like at that point, if you let him out, you're not getting past him. Like, you're not getting past Satoru. Like, you try anything, he's just going to nope you right out of existence. And they even say that Masamichi Yaga shall receive the death penalty for inciting Satoru Gojo and Geto and causing the Shibuya incident. Again, they're taking out somebody who knows that somebody like him who would know that this is all bullshit. That knows this is a complete and total fabrication of what happened and would go against them for doing it. So they're going to try and take him out as well. And that's one of the reasons also I believe that they're saying, all right, we're putting back Yuji Itadori's death sentence, and it's going to be carried out immediately. Like, anybody involved that knows they are full of shit, I think is currently probably like a fugitive on the run from the Jujutsu Tech. And I'm kind of hoping that they're, like, a bad guy group soon to the main cast. Like, it's not just like, it's not like, oh, we gotta earn, we gotta prove our innocence and earn our spots back. I'm hoping they're like, no, fuck you guys. Like, they're clearly corrupt. That it's not like it's a misunderstanding too. Like, they very much are setting this entirely up to take out any opposition to their power and control over everything. Because who knows, to them, who knows if they can take down, Kamo and stuff and everything that's going on. But the bigger problems to them is Satoru, because Satoru is somebody that everybody looks up to as this, like, pretty much savior of humanity anytime he shows up, but he's uncontrolled by, all these more political figures in, the Jujutsu world. So they're going to do everything they can to prevent him from coming back and prevent everybody that could lead to him coming back and whatnot. So if they're that, corrupt and that more about their own handle of things rather than what's right and what they're actually supposed to be doing, then yeah, like they should just try and wipe these dudes out. Like they're a problem. They're part of the infection, the vile cancer that exists in like the Jujutsu world. Like we know that. We've seen like aspects of that throughout the series, but I think this is a good time to really have that up on display and become like a major focus in the plot. Because like I said, it's been more of a present in the back thing that we see flashes every once in a while. But now, like, if they're doing all this, like, they have to be taken care of. And then the last thing, they say Special Grade Sorcerer Yuta Okutsu is appointed Yuji Itadori's executioner. So I think that's going to be the big thing of how things are going to slowly shift in just their interaction. Because we know that Yuji has this weird ability to, like, insert himself into people's memories with, like, false memories. Kind of like what Tsukishima can do in Bleach with Book of the End. But with Yuta, we know that Yuta, if he sees Yuji as an ally, similar to like what Satoru has like going on, like once you get like under that kind of like big overarching blanket of ally to these guys, good luck trying to change their minds. They're gonna go against you. And the same thing with Yuta. Like we don't know if Yuta's different since like obviously when he was in Volume 0, but I would assume that if he found out that all the stuff that these guys have told him is bullshit, he's gonna turn on them too. I believe that. Well, again, we don't know where he's gone. Like, the only thing we really have seen of him otherwise is that he was in Africa with that guy that was on Geto's team. So, he could have gone through something that made him very different and to alter who he is. But then we saw him, like, in the chapter, he had that same kind of very nice guy to the core personality. So, who knows how this is really going to turn out. The only thing right now that I really want to get to seeing from him is whatever his domain expansion is going to be. His is probably going to be super badass. And then seeing what's up with, like, him still having Rika, or is it, like, a fake one that he's made that he still refers to as Rika? Who knows? There's a lot of questions up and coming in this chapter. I really like how this starts out and how it's used that kind of more file recap, like it's reading out notes from whatever, like, oh, this is a report on the Shibuya incident, and these are the results of it, like 5 bullet points that are kind of like TLDRs of the important things that kind of arrived out of it. So I am really looking forward to where this is going. Like, I liked the Shibuya incident opening. I thought it was really hype, but like I think that was more of like big hype of stuff to come, whereas this is big hype for seeing how those events kind of laid out the groundwork for the next part in the story. I think that's, to me, is more exciting because it's more of like how it altered everything and how we're going to see things differently now. So I am really looking forward to this next part. I really want to see Yuta just in action again. I really like his character. And I'm really excited to see how he interacts with Megumi. That to me is going to be really interesting because Megumi is not going to fold in front of this guy. We know that Yuji is not gonna, but like Megumi's will be more in, these two calm dudes interacting. But I think Megumi, after all this, is going to be a little bit more, I would imagine, a little bit more aggressive. But we'll see. Anyway, other than that, though, comment below, thumbs up the video, but from the like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But other than that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed. Thank you all for listening. Bye.